What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the MaddenBallerz YouTube channel, and today we have another Madden 17 Decides, and Madden 17 is going to decide the 2016 NFL season. Who's going to be the Super Bowl champ? Who's going to win each division? We're going to find out today in this video, along with yearly awards and the stat leaders. So let's go ahead and sim through the first 4 weeks first and take a look at the division standings. In the AFC North, it's the Ravens, a game ahead of the Steelers at 3-1. We move to the AFC South, and it's the Jaguars and Colts tied atop the division at a 3-1 record. And we move on to the AFC East, and it's the Patriots still holding on to that division atop it at 3-1 on the season. The Bills, Jets, and Dolphins right behind them at 2-2. In the AFC West, it's the Chiefs at 3-1. The Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders all 1-3 on the season so far. Moving to the NFC, we start with the North, and it's the Vikings 3-1 ahead of the 2-1 Packers. Those lonely Lions there 1-3. NFC South, it's the Falcons at 4-0, coming ahead of the 2-2 Saints. And we move to the NFC East now, and it's the Dallas Cowboys ahead of the Redskins. Cowboys 3-1 on the season through the first 4 games. And finally, in the NFC West, it's the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks tied atop the division at 3-1. Taking a look at your stat leaders, Phillip Rivers leads in passing yards with over 1,300 passing yards. Taking a look at your running leaders now, it's Devontae Freeman. He leads with over 400 yards. Todd Gurley closing in on the 400-yard mark along with Adrian Peterson. Receiving stats, Stevie Johnson, an unlikely name to be atop the board. He's got over 450 receiving yards. Allen Robinson over 450 as well. On the defensive side, it's Calais Campbell and Ndamukong Suh with 6 sacks apiece leading the way. And interceptions, it's Rolando McClain and Tremaine Johnson along with a couple others with 3 interceptions each. And I want to show you a few transactions here. Wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders re-signs with the Broncos, 4-year, $42.9 million. And the Packers make a trade with the Patriots. They give up 2 draft picks, a 5th in the 2017 draft and a 2nd in the 2018 draft for a center from New England. I'm not sure how good that center was, so we don't know how that trade goes out, but the Cardinals traded 3 draft picks in 2018 for a 76 overall guy. So we're looking at maybe some bad trades by the computer. Le'Veon Bell here, though, re-signs with Pittsburgh for 5 years, $70 million. We move on to the middle of the season through Week 8, and it's the Bengals now atop the AFC North at 5-3. Ravens are a half game back. In the AFC South, it's the Jaguars 5-2. They are a half game ahead of the Texans at 5-3. And in the AFC East, it's the Patriots still ahead, but only by half a game over the Jets at 6-2. And in the AFC West, it's the Chiefs 6-1 on the season. Looks like the Chargers turned around their season a bit here. They're 5-3, a game and a half back. NFC North, it's the Vikings on top, 5-2 on the season. The Packers, well, they remain a game or a half game back. NFC South, it's the Falcons 5-3 ahead of the 3-4 Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers. And in the NFC East, it's the Cowboys 5-1-1 on the season ahead in the NFC East there, ahead of the Redskins. And in the NFC West, it's the Seahawks 5-2. They lead that division. The Cardinals, they dropped 3 games to 4-4. Looking at your leaders, it's Phillip Rivers just shy of 2,500 passing yards midway through the season. He leads the way ahead of Matthew Stafford. Devontae Freeman still atop the rushing yards list with over 800 rushing yards. Giovanni Bernard just 1 yard shy of 700. Stevie Johnson leads the way still in receiving yards at 752. Golden Tate moves up to number 2. Larry Fitzgerald third. Sack leaders, Cameron Jordan number 1 with 9. Muhammad Wilkerson right behind him at 8, along with Sue and Quinn. And interception leaders from the Colts, DeQuell Jackson with 4. Hayward and Robinson behind him with 3, along with a few others. And we'll simulate now to the end of the regular season and find out your division winners. In the AFC North, it's the Bengals at 12-4. They win the division. Steelers finish 8-8 behind them. AFC South, it's the Jaguars edging out the Colts by a couple games at 9-7. Colts and everybody else in the division, they finish below 500. AFC East, it's the Patriots at 13-3 winning the division. The Dolphins squeak in a wild card spot at 8-7-1, beating out the Jets for that wild card spot. And the Chiefs win the AFC West at 11-5. The Chargers sneak in with a wild card bid at 10-5-1. NFC North, it's the Vikings at 10-5-1 winning the division. The Packers squeak in a wild card spot at 9-7. The Lions finish 8-8. NFC South, the Falcons win the division at 11-4-1, and the Buccaneers finish at 500. NFC East, it's the Cowboys 11-3-2 winning the division. Redskins sneak in the wild card 10-6-0 on the season, and the Seahawks win the NFC West 13-3. The Cardinals started 3-1 but finished 7-8-1 on the season. Your passing leaders for the regular season, Tom Brady vaults to the top, over 4,700 passing yards and 44 touchdowns. Devontae Freeman leads the rushing category in yards, over 1,600. Adrian Peterson over 1,500. Todd Gurley third. Receiving leaders, Antonio Brown, 97 catches, over 1,500 receiving yards. Edelman second. Brandon Marshall third. Brandon Graham from the Eagles wins the sack title, 20.5 sacks. Joey Bosa, the rookie, 16.5, coming in second. And Rolando McClain, and I believe that's Jamie Collins, tie for 7 interceptions on the season. Taking a look at yearly awards, your NFL MVP is Tom Brady. Russell Wilson is second. And we'll take a look at Coach of the Year, and it's Griffin Murphy or Bill Belichick because they can't put his name or likeness in the game. We'll take a look at conference players. Offensive, Tom Brady in the AFC East, Melvin Ingram. Paxton Lynch, your offensive rookie. Defensive, Joey Bosa. Tom Brady, best QB. Running back, Le'Veon Bell. Edelman, receiver. D-line, Wentworth. And Wilkerson is your best defensive tackle. And you see the rest here, Revis in there and McManus. In the NFC, Russell Wilson, offensive player of the year. Wentz, rookie of the year. Nemechek, defensive rookie of the year. Wilson, best QB. Freeman, best running back. Cobb, best wide receiver. Smith, best O-line. Best D-line was Brandon Graham. McClain there at linebacker. Trufant at cornerback. And you saw the kicker there as well. So we advance to the wild card, through the wild card round. As the Dolphins losing to the Chiefs, the Packers lose to Atlanta in a shootout. The Chargers, they beat Jacksonville on the road 35-21, and Washington wins on the road 31-17 over Minnesota. So let's simulate the divisional round, and it's the Chargers beating New England 27-24 on the road. Washington loses to Seattle. Kansas City loses on the road to Cincy 31-8, and Atlanta loses to Dallas 38-21. So let's advance through the conference playoffs, conference week. It's the Chargers over Cincinnati on the road 38-24. Dallas loses to Seattle 38-22. So the Super Bowl is Seattle, San Diego. Who's going to win? It is the Seattle Seahawks over the San Diego Chargers 28-21 here. Not a shootout. Looks like a close game. Lots of yards put up by each of these teams, or decent amount there. So there you have the 2016 NFL season decided by Madden 17. You saw all the stats all the yearly awards and your Super Bowl champ, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. What do you think about this Madden 17 Decides? Do you think it's pretty accurate? Will the Seahawks win the Super Bowl this year? I want to hear your comments down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and want to see more Madden 17 Decides. And as always, you can follow me over on Twitter at MaddenBallerz. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.